Convos with Cassie. With me, Cassie Kellner, clinical systems consultant with Hummingbird Associates. I am so excited to introduce you to my fabulous guest. This is Tracy Mowad. She is a management consultant here with Hummingbird. She is also, it is no secret, your organizational guru, and to be quite honest, my mentor. I am so excited that she is here, and we're going to talk about organization. So for those of you who don't know, which you should know, we as Hummingbirds use a task management tool called Asana. And if you've ever seen us lecture, we talk about this all the time. I mean, to the point where the last lecture I did a few years ago, pre-pandemic, somebody came up after the lecture, Trace, and asked if Asana was there. Like, that's how much we use it. I think people thought that this was an orthodontic tool, and it's not actually. We've made it an orthodontic tool, but it is strictly for task management, and we've been able to build out some really amazing things. And so what we're going to do is talk about kind of Asana 101. Welcome, Tracy. It's so good to have you.
Thank you for having me, Cassie. It's nice to be here.
Yeah. So, Tracy, for everyone out there that doesn't know, what is Asana?
Yeah, so Asana is basically a task and project management tool. We use it to manage all of the workflow and practices that exist essentially outside of other systems, your practice management system, or maybe Invisalign or something like that. So essentially, we've got all of this work and things going on every day, and we're using crazy things like Post-it notes or notepads or trying to keep it all in our heads. And we realized as we were doing our systems training that we needed one central place to manage all of that workflow. And so that's what we use it for.
Yeah. And I mean, it's truly been a game changer. I mean, we say that as consultants, right? But I think for practices, to not be able to, I mean, they're now not shuffling through all of these paper folders.
Right. Yeah.
They don't even need a lot even on Google Drive anymore. It's kind of taken over. So, so there are a lot of practices that ask, why? Why do I need something like Asana in my practice? What would you say?
So again, the idea is all of this information is floating everywhere. People have different systems, different ways of capturing that information. Sticky notes is quite popular, or binders, right, with loads and loads of documents. And typically when we go into a practice to try to help them be more efficient and create more streamlined systems, as we're sifting through that information, we realize that there's no way to tell what's current. Sometimes it takes people, a half hour, sometimes a day to locate a document. We find it great, that's awesome. We start working in it and they realize, oh wait, this isn't the master. Let me go find that. And so again, we just spend so much time spinning our wheels and trying to stay on top of prioritization, right? When we're talking about things that come up every day and we were supposed to be focused on running payroll or doing something, or we were in the middle of contracts and we just learned how to do contracts. And then suddenly we get pulled away, we have to come back, and we've completely lost what we were supposed to be doing, when, how, and we just want something that allows us to have everything, all of that information right at our fingertips. And for us, we think Asana works very, very well.
Yeah, we know Asana works.
We know, yes. I think a couple of things to, sort of preface the setup for Asana. Typically we do see practices get very excited, of course, after a lecture or hearing us talk about it, and they want to go set up Asana. And a couple of things to know before you even do that. There are two ways you can set up Asana. One is using a personal email address, like, tracy@gmail.com. When you do it that way, what you're doing is creating a workspace in Asana. Workspaces are great for personal information, for tracking personal tasks, but what they don't allow you to do is create teams. And when we set up Asana, we prefer to do it with the company email address, which will then create an organization. And within your organization, Hummingbird Associates, you can create functional teams that sort of represent the different functional areas of your practice. So you would have, things like your financial team and any projects related to that, or task lists or training templates, and your clinical team. Cassie, when you set up Asana, right, you have your clinical team, and under that, you've got a beautiful clinical digital training library. You've got all of the clinical tasks that you have to do every morning, at the end of every day to shut down the clinic, maybe clinical reports, right? And so from a sort of an organizational perspective, and yes, I'm a little OCD, right? But hey, it works. So from an organizational perspective, it's a great way to set up that information and help your teams manage it much more effectively. So step one, set up an organization instead of a workspace. And then as you do that, sometimes people will already have workspaces set up and they want to change it to an organization. You want to make sure that you change your entire workspace to an organization, not just one of your projects, right? We've seen this before too.
Yes.
Or if you're upgrading to premium from your organization, from the free version, you want to make sure that you upgrade the entire organization and not just one team, because then you have to go through a little bit more work, with Asana to fix everything. Yeah. So just a couple of tips, sort of out of the gate. Yeah. The last thing I'll say before we jump into screen sharing is that there is a free version of Asana. The free version is a great way to just get started, kind of test the waters a little bit. You can have up to 15 users in your organization free. And when you upgrade, right now, I think the fees are about $11 per user per month. But the functionality that you get, we always recommend if a practice is committing to Asana that they upgrade, because you have admin rights where you can monitor all of the workflow, everything that's happening in the practice. You have access to reporting. You can make projects or teams private. And I think the most used or most loved feature, right, is the premium custom fields that we set up. Oh, yeah. So we can set priority fields. You can create, a candidate tracking board with, oh my gosh, I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but right, you can create roles that you're interviewing for candidates wise. You name it, you can create it. So there is a lot more functionality, but I think it's a great way to start by just using the free tool, because there is a learning curve with it.
Yeah, that's true. And, and we also recommend, if they're baby stepping into this, to start with the free version, but the premium version is absolutely the way to go.
And, any one of us, if you have questions, that if you feel like you maybe set it up the wrong way, something like that, please, we're always happy to send you a quick little note and help you out.
Hi, everyone. Obviously, you can tell we've cut our video because Tracy and I got ahead of ourselves and we started really geeking out on Asana. So we have decided to cut this video and create 2 separate videos for you. So the first video is where we really talk about Asana and what it can do for your practice. And the second video is going to be Tracy talking through some really good Asana basics to help you set your Asana organization up within your practice. So, Tracy, thank you so much. This was so informative.
It was great. I loved it. Thank you.
Good. All right, everyone. Don't forget, like and subscribe and follow us on all of our social platforms at Hummingbird Associates. Until next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.